What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is actually a very exciting one for me. The next three videos, actually, I should preface, are going to be in regards to my birthday celebrations, as it does appear during this time of the month, if you will. My birthday is end of June, and this year I decided to do a few different videos. One will be in regards to the lovely celebration that my husband has planned for me. I'm very excited to record that and share that here with everybody. And then outside of that, I will also do a gift haul from other people and all the wonderful, amazing people in my life, as well as some of the fancier items that I got for myself that are completely not book related. So those two videos will be coming up just as a heads up. But today's video in particular is going to be around bookish related gifts that I bought for myself. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, definitely stick around for this video. It's reading time here at J-Bay's Corner. For those of you that are new here, welcome. My name is Jaya. I absolutely love reading. Reading is my absolute joy in life, and so I created this channel as an opportunity to share my love for reading with an amazing reading community so that it's a safe space to discuss all things books. I will say I primarily dabble in fiction, and if that sounds like something you would enjoy, you may enjoy being around for our bookish community here on this little corner of the internet, and I would love to have you guys stop by. I put out videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and it has been a pride and joy. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the confidence for doing this. Thank you for your comments and engaging and being a part of this bookish community that's being created. So I cannot thank you guys enough. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. As we all know, I have a very unhealthy relationship with reading. I love to read so much. It brings me great joy, whether that be consuming the book by physically reading it, audibling it, whatever it may be. I genuinely love just getting lost in a book. And so I decided that this year I had to get some bookish goodies for myself, as some of my favorite authors released new books, as well as some of the books that I have loved had special editions made of them that I had to get my hands on. So definitely have a few items in that regard. I also ended up getting a few scents that I'm so excited to share with you guys. And I also ended up getting a few clothing items specific to bookish related vibes. So I guess let's start with the clothes, get it out of the way, and then I'll show the little scent items, and then we'll go into the book haul, which is the primary bookish related gift that I bought for myself. Just as a heads up, I did budget quite a bit of money towards books this year. So I think altogether I gave myself like $150 just for books. So it's gonna be a lot of books, but here we go. I ended up getting a bunch of cute little bookish themed clothing items from a company called House of Jupiter. This company is absolutely wonderful. It is female owned. It is a independent, small boutique kind of store. From what I know, they primarily have an online presence. Definitely go check them out. Again, houseofjupiter.com. And they have the cutest bookish related little garb that I had to share. So the first thing that I ended up picking up, I'll actually say this too. These are not actually from, there's two items in here that are clothing that are not House of Jupiter. I'll actually start with those. So my thought process was I wanted to create sets of outfits that I can then wear throughout the course of my birthday week. And I just wanted to have something cozy and comfy to read in, something to lounge around the house in. And I love comfy leggings. And unfortunately, a couple pairs of my leggings now have holes in them just because they've been overworn. So I ended up getting a couple more pairs. So these are just the lounge leggings that I absolutely adore from Aloe. They were on sale when I was looking for them. And I also had a few credit points that I used towards these. So I got a couple of those pairs of leggings. And I'm super, super excited to use them. They're very, very cozy, very comfy, very light, very breathable. And I got them to wear with two t-shirts that I got off of House of Jupiter. So this is the first t-shirt I bought. It is an oversized XL. I can fit in their large and XL sizes, but I prefer that oversized, comfy, breathable look. So this one just says mood reader on it, and it's this beautiful little teddy bear, and I'm absolutely obsessed. Imagine this with a pair of jeans or just like a lovely pair of leggings, some cute little slides, a nice like book tote or handbag. Out you go for your coffee and your reading day. I just felt like this was absolutely amazing. I love the print. I love the comfort of the t-shirt. It's boxy, unisex, so it is more of that male fit, where it definitely is more boxy. I prefer that. I like a looser t-shirt, especially if I'm just trying to be cozy or comfy. And then there are little tricks that I like to use in order to style it differently if I want to. But that is the first t-shirt that I ended up picking up from House of Jupiter, and I am obsessed. The second t-shirt that I ended up picking up is actually based on an Emily Henry book. For those that read Great Big Life, that one was absolutely incredible, and it was about two authors that are basically vying for the ability to write the autobiography of a woman who has been a tabloid princess forever from the family of St. Ives, and she has a very, very interesting, crazy past and like murder, mayhem, everything. Like tabloid princess follows her around, and she basically chooses these two authors to come and interview her in order to write this biography. And so I actually ended up getting a t-shirt for that vibe, and it is, again, oversized. It has a collar. I will say I do kind of regret getting this in an extra large. I probably should have gotten it in a large because I do think this should be more of a fitted look, but it's actually a high neck t-shirt. And as you guys can see, it says Tabloid Princess, House of Ives. So I definitely see myself pulling this out whenever I want to read a good Emily Henry book. It's just a nice, simple gray long sleeve tee, which I think is going to come in handy for so many years to come. Now, the next set I know is going to be controversial. Jessa Hastings is an author that I have really enjoyed in the past. I really like her Magnolia Park series, and I'm actually very excited to read Conditions of Will. I know there was some recent pushback from readers against her, and I know people have been boycotting her and canceling her because of a lot of frustration and anger towards some of the things that the author has said, as well as the rudeness that she's had towards a lot of her longstanding fans. And I'm not here to say that I approve of that behavior, nor am I going to say that I'm going to boycott her completely, only because I'm super invested in the Magnolia Park series and I really want to know what happens to Daisy. Please don't come for me. But that being said, outside of Jessa Hastings herself, I do think, in the same way that I say about J.K. Rowling, I don't agree with what the author is saying, and I don't necessarily agree with the things that they are doing. But I do think the worlds they have created and the characters that they created and what those worlds and those characters meant to me in my reading journey will always hold a higher place in my heart, because I choose to focus on that love. And I will forever and always continue to support all different backgrounds, groups. I don't really have any political stance per se. I think people should have the right to do, you know, what makes them happy and joyful, as long as it's not harmful to others and it's supportive of community and love. I don't see anything wrong with that. And I don't think any author that has hate in their heart should be speaking that hate, especially when they have such a public platform and to talk about all of the amazing, happy things they could be spreading. That being said, the reason I bring that up is because I don't see myself boycotting Jessa Hastings. I have noticed myself slowing down in terms of reading some of her other novels, but I have really been keeping my eye out for the Magnolia Park series. And so this is actually based on the Magnolia Park series, which is why I brought all this up. And this is the lovely t-shirt that says the box set. It has all of their initials on it. So we can see Christian, Henry, Jonah, BJ, and of course Magnolia, which I love, like the fact that they were all besties from childhood. It's just such a cute little t-shirt. And I also got the matching sweatpants, which basically says the box set on the sweatpant and then has their names down the side of the pant. I just think this is going to be so much fun to put on while I'm reading Conditions of Will for our book club, and also just cozy clothes and vibes all around. But once again, if you liked any of those pieces, that is from House of Jupiter. Definitely check her out. She is phenomenal. She also does amazing totes. I got this beautiful Magnolia Parks tote last year. I actually have it right here with me, which is kind of my catch-all. I kind of use it at my desk to just kind of hold all the things I may need in a reading capacity or a work capacity. And it just says, how many loves do you get in a lifetime? And it has the deer, which represents Magnolia Parks, on the actual tote. Beautifully made, beautifully built. But yeah, definitely check out House of Jupiter. The next item that I actually ended up getting is from a company called Wonderwick. They originally, I think, had their own platform, but were also selling on Etsy. And they actually partnered with Sarah J. Maas in order to create candles and scents that represented characters from the Sarah J. Maas universe. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a huge Maasiverse fan. I love all of her books. I have read all of them. I love Throne of Glass. I love Crescent City. I absolutely love ACOTAR. And I'm very excited for the 2 new books that are coming up. And recently I ended up getting some, not recently, maybe like a year and a half ago, I ended up getting some perfumes created by, their scents were inspired by characters from Throne of Glass. So I have the Aelin perfume, the Manon perfume, and the Lysandra perfume. And I also got a perfume that was inspired by ACOTAR, which is the Farah perfume. I also hope to one day get the Elaine perfume because that sounds really beautiful. But I have to say the Lysandra perfume is just a breath of fresh air. Like truly, it smells like you're in fresh air. And I absolutely adore it. It's like my day-to-day scent. It's very clean. It's very light. And the thing I like about the Wonderwick scents is that they're actually more oil-based. So they last on your skin a little bit longer. And they actually go on kind of dry. It's really interesting. It doesn't have that cooling kind of like cold spray that most perfumes have. It actually has a little bit of a warmer feel on your skin. And again, more oil-based. So the scents actually last. So I ended up picking up 2 more of the Lysandra perfumes from Wonderwick. This is white tea and bergamot in terms of the scent. It is absolutely phenomenal. That white tea definitely stands out, which I absolutely love about these scents. Also, if anyone has noticed the fact that one finger does not have a nail, I apologize. I ended up getting my fingernail caught in my work backpack and pulled the whole thing off. So we're just waiting for it to slowly regrow. For anyone who wants to know, yes, it was extremely painful. Yes, I removed my own nail, but now we're recovering and it's going great. So I do apologize for that hideousness. Whew! And that brings us through the book related items, if you will. Everything else is actually books. If you guys made it this far, thank you for sticking around and watching. Let's get into the books. So the first book that I ended up picking up is Taylor Jenkins Reid's Atmosphere. I have read pretty much every book that this woman has ever written and I love them. I think the only one that I have not read is something to remember. I have to, hold on. Let's see if the list of books are here. The only one that I have not read yet is Forever Interrupted and Maybe in Another Life. Every other book by her I have read and I've absolutely loved every single one of them. Taylor Jenkins Reid just has this way of writing characters that you can fall in love with and you can feel a piece of yourself in. The other thing I really like about her writing is that it's very day-to-day characters that are living their daily life like you and I would in the sense that like it's very real. It's very relatable. And I really love that about her writing styles. There's a few books that I would say are a little bit more time-piecey and maybe slightly less relatable, but still have beautiful, well-rounded characters. And that would be her, I think it's Malibu Rising. Carrie Soto is back, and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which are all kind of in the same world. Daisy Jones and the Six is an interview style story that was basically around a band, and that was really fun to read. Like it literally felt like you were reading an interview and you were going on this journey with the band, which was so fun to read. And then After I Do was really powerful for me. That's basically a story about a couple after marriage, and I thought that was really interesting to read. One True Loves was beautiful, really talking about what causes two people to fall in love and what that looks like. So just some really amazing books by this author. So when I saw that her latest book had finally been released as a paperback, I had to put my hands on it. So let's talk about it. Joan Goodwin has been obsessed with the stars for as long as she can remember. Thoughtful and reserved, Joan is content with her life as a professor of physics and astronomy at Rice University and as aunt to her precocious niece, Frances. That is until she comes across an advertisement seeking the first woman scientists to join NASA's space shuttle program. Suddenly, Joan burns to be one of the few people to go to space. Selected from a pool of 1,000 applicants in the summer of 1980, Joan begins training at Houston's Johnson Space Center alongside an exceptional group of fellow candidates, Top Gun pilot Hank Redmond and scientist John Griffin, kind and easygoing even when the stakes are high, mission specialist Lydia Danes, who has worked too hard to play nice, warm-hearted Donna Fitzgerald, navigating her own secrets, and Vanessa Ford, the magnetic and mysterious aeronautical engineer. As the new astronauts become unlikely friends and prepare for their first flights, Joan finds a passion and a love she never imagined. In this new light, Joan begins to question everything she thinks she knows about her place in the observable universe. Then, in December 1984, on mission STSLR-9, it all changes in an instant. Fast-paced, thrilling, and emotional atmosphere is Taylor Jenkins Reid at her best. So I'm very excited to read this. I think it's going to be so powerful. I think it's going to be heartbreaking. I'm so excited to bawl, if that makes any sense. And the fact that the book is kind of set in the summer of 1980, I feel like it's going to be perfect for the summer season. And I'm hoping to pick it up as one of the books that I read in July. Next up, I actually picked up an author who's more known for her young adult writing, and that is K.L. Walther. I was also very excited to find that she had these special edition versions of these little books created. I love a good painted edge, so I had to get my hands on these books as well. In terms of we're a bad idea, right? There we go. The best love stories start with bad ideas. Audrey Barber has had enough of following the rules. 18 years of being the perfect daughter, exceptional grades, enviable college acceptances, time dating history, and still her parents don't trust her enough to let her study her passion, glassblowing, on a prestigious fellowship. So when her best friend Henry proposes an outrageous fake dating scheme to win back his ex-girlfriend, it feels like the first step to shaking up her perfect life. And the second, that comes when Audrey's parents go out of town, sparking a high-risk, high-reward solution to pay for her fellowship, renting out her family's Connecticut mansion online. With the help of her new fake boyfriend, it shouldn't be hard to pull off. But when her best intentions start to unravel, Audrey will have to reckon with who she is, what she wants, and what it really means to play life by her rules, all with her heart on the line. That just sounds so cute. I love a good summer romance, and I just think this one is going to be even more fun. I'm excited to see what these characters get up to as they're getting ready and gearing up to go to college, and the choices that they make as they feel they are independent adults and really coming into their own. So I think this one should be really fun. The next one is The Summer of Second Chances, which I think is also based on the original The Summer of Broken Dreams. It says, Olivia Lupo feels stuck. All her friends have gone on their first year of college while she's still at home with her family. There's a good reason though. Her beloved grandmother Annie has dementia, and Olivia can't bear the thought of being so far from home when Annie needs her most. So when her stepmother asks the family to spend 3 weeks of summer on Martha's Vineyard, Olivia plans to say no until she discovers an old box Annie filled with photos and memories from her own time there. Olivia decides to follow in her grandmother's footsteps and spends some time on the island that Annie describes as magical. When she arrives, she meets Connor, a boy from her past who really wants to be a part of her present and future. Olivia's never thought about forever with someone until meeting Connor, and it scares her. How can she make plans when all she wants to do is keep close to her grandmother before she's gone forever? As she recreates the memories Annie made a lifetime ago, she has to decide if she's willing to finally give someone her heart just when she needs it most. So I think this is going to be a really powerful book. I think this is actually going to be more intense, more emotional. But I am actually dealing with something similar in my own family. Sorry. My grandmother is slowly developing dementia after she recently went to the hospital and had a few falls that she required surgery for. And it's a very powerful time in one's life. And while all of this happens, I've been navigating, like watching my mom deal with it, watch her siblings deal with it, seeing my parents aging as I'm kind of hit my mid-30s, and then like seeing my own marriage progress. It's just so powerful to read about family relationships and how it's important to hold on to those memories and time with your loved ones, but never being afraid of future loves and what that can mean in life. And so I'm really excited to see what this book has to offer, and I think it's going to be a fun, emotional roller coaster. For those of you that have been with me on this reading journey, Lynn Painter is an author that I've spoken about often. I think her young adult books are absolutely phenomenal, and her adult books, while I don't think are quite on the same par as her young adult books, still hit home and they're such fun reads. So I found out that Lynn Painter actually released a new novel, and it's called First and Forever, and it says he's about to make his winning play. So when I saw that this had come out, I had to grab it. And of course, Amazon just had to go and do beautiful colored edges for it. So I was ready to go in putting this in my cart. A football star and his team's diehard fan find themselves entangled in a PR stunt that only one side knows is fake, but it might just be the right play. Duffy DiStefano loves three things: her dad, the family cat, and Minneapolis Coyote football. So after she gets booed out of a game and becomes the internet's villain following an awful encounter with the team's beloved mascot, she is disgruntled, to put it mildly. Eager to clear the air, Duffy agrees to an interview on a hit morning show. She doesn't expect a co-star or a co-guest to join her, especially not the Coyotes' star tight end. When MVP Connor Cunningham gets tasked with damage control to help his team out of a PR nightmare involving its mascot, he thinks that means saying a few words on the Coyotes' behalf. Instead, he finds himself in a highly amusing verbal sparring match with a recently wronged fan on live TV. Duffy pelts him with fiery jabs, but is also clearly well-versed in all things Coyotes. Color him intrigued and attracted. The interview instantly goes viral, and the public is obsessed with them. A strong push from the Coyotes PR team to ride the wave results in Connor asking Duffy out. Despite his distaste for PR stunts, he discovers that being with Duffy is much easier than he anticipated, and somehow it doesn't feel fake to him. The secret can only blow up in his face, but all he knows is that if he ruins things with Duffy, it'll be the greatest fumble of his life. And I love the idea of him falling first. There's just something so cute about that, and I like the fact that it's a sports romance and that our girl actually knows sports. I know nothing about sports. Please don't take that vibe from what I just said. I just think it's cute when she also knows the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, can hold her own, if you will. I love that in a character. Also, I wouldn't say I don't know any sports. I love basketball. That's pretty much the only one. And then I will always happily go watch an ice hockey game in person because they're just so much fun to watch. But outside of that, I'm not a huge sports girly, but I am excited to read this little summer baseball romance. I also ended up scouring the Illumicrate website and picked up a few books off of the Illumicrate website, which I will do last. I wanted to first show the other books because there's quite a few, so I'm just putting that out there. But I actually ended up getting another book from Fairyloot. I don't know if I showed this online already, but I did end up getting The Last Wish of Bristol Keats. This is the second book in the duology, and so I was really excited when I found out that this second book was finally releasing. It is by author Mary E. Pearson, who is also the author of A Game of Thieves and Vow of Thieves, and Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves, which were some of my favorite young adult duology stories, which are closed door, absolutely well written, and the characters are so well fleshed out, and it's true enemies to lovers. Like, that series I really, really enjoyed. And so when I realized that this was the second book in this duology, I had to get my hands on it because I already had the first book, and now I'm very excited to be able to read the duology. This copy is also absolutely gorgeous. It is signed by the author, which is incredible. So here is the beautiful front cover of the book. Absolutely stunning. I mean, Fairyloot always does a phenomenal job, but this is just gorgeous. And then here are the inside pages, like, stunning. Absolutely stunning. I am obsessed. And then here are the lovely painted edges. And it does come with a little ribbon to hold your place. And then, of course, the thing that spoke to me best is the signature. On the back cover of the alternative cover, it says, "She saw the prince he had been only months ago, carrying out orders, carrying out a plan her father helped despise. And then fate had intervened. Love." So let's read the inside cover. Everyone needs something to hold on to, even if it's a lie. After Bristol nearly loses King Tigon to the monsters her mother unleashed, the couple's love deepens to a whole new level. But when a beloved knight dies, Bristol is forced to confront the fact that her mother is more powerful than she could ever have imagined, and more dangerous too. Meanwhile, Tigon's heart is laid bare when he re-encounters his betrayer and former best friend, Bristol's father, and must wrestle with a new secret that throws into question everything he thought he knew about his past. Bristol is the kingdom's last chance for survival, but where do her loyalties truly lie? If she fully embraces the magic that has always been her birthright, she could become a monster herself. Is she willing to risk losing the people she loves most if it means keeping them safe? Very curious to see where this book is going to take us. Somehow that doesn't feel like it's going to be the end of the duology. Maybe I should actually look into this a little bit more. But my understanding, it's supposed to be a duology, so fingers crossed it is, and I'm very excited to jump into this, especially such a beautiful copy of the book. Now let's do a quick dive into Target's collection. They actually had the new copy of the Brynne Weaver book that I was so in love with, Harvest Season. So for those that don't know, Brynne Weaver also wrote the Ruinous Love trilogy. Basically, she loves to do romantic humor in a dark romance kind of fashion, and she usually likes to write about serial killers. So this was no different. Harvest Season was the new book that came out, and then the continuation of the Seasons of Carnage trilogy, where we are continuing to follow the story of two of these lovely characters. This Target exclusive edition is also just absolutely gorgeous. I am obsessed. So, Cape Carnage is blooming with secrets and they're ready to harvest. But every time Nolan Rhodes digs one up, another grows in its pace. Harper isn't who he thought she was. Arthur might be more sinister than he initially believed, and Sheriff Yates, the man is everywhere he turns. When true crime fanatics descend on the town looking for answers about death of their leader, Nolan finds himself at the center of a search and rescue operation for missing people he knows are already dead. Cape Carnage teeters on the brink of chaos, and the harder Nolan tries to keep it together, the closer Harper comes to unraveling. Harper Starling has risked everything to bury her trauma in Cape Carnage. But now that Nolan has unearthed her past, her whole life seems ready to break apart. And who can she trust? The enigmatic man she's falling in love with? He came to kill her. The serial killer mentor she's vowed to protect? He's become an unpredictable menace. The woman in the mirror, she might be the most dangerous of all. Super excited to read this. And I'm also very excited that in this series, we're actually following the same two characters as they go through this journey of love together and deal with the craziness of everything that's happening in the Harvest collection. So when I found out this new book came out, I had to get my hands on it. So excited to read this book. Here is the inside cover as well. I love that papering. Just absolutely stunning book. I'm so excited for this book. I have to say, Tourist Season was absolutely incredible. I'm very excited for Harvest Season. Butcher and Blackbird, Leather and Lark, and Scythe and Sparrow were all incredible. I'm so happy to have read those. And I definitely see myself buying any Brynne Weaver book that comes out in the future. Now we are going to go in a different direction and talk about some Illumicrate books. Now I will say these books I did not specifically purchase for my birthday. They just happened to come around this time, so that was very exciting. I actually probably bought these books almost 6 months ago. They just took forever to ship. So the first one is Any Trope But You by Victoria Lavine. This is a Christmas romance that just looks absolutely gorgeous. Here are the beautiful snowflake covered sides, and here is the back of the cover. When you take this cover off, this is what really sold me on the book. Look how adorable. How adorable is this hardback? I am obsessed. So, popular romance author Margot Bradley has a secret. She doesn't believe in happily ever afters. Not for herself, not for her readers, not even for her characters. When a superfan leaks this to the world, Margot is dropped faster than you can say enemies to lovers. Her sister thinks she needs a change of scene and sends Margot off to a remote Alaskan cabin on a writing retreat that could be the perfect chance to say goodbye to rom-coms and write something new. Maybe swap meet-cutes for murder mysteries, but then she meets the handsome owner, Forrest. She's a city girl. He's a lumberjack. Of course he is. He's grumpy. Wait, is she Sunshine? Oh no. At least there's no forced proximity, but that snowstorm is heading straight for their cabin. As one trope after another draws them together over long snowy nights, one thing is clear. Margot and Forrest have landed in a romance novel of their very own, but will they each be able to overcome their fears or risk becoming another of Margot's happily never afters themselves? I just thought that sounds so cute. So I read another book called The Love of My Afterlife, which was based on the same concept where the main two characters basically continuously go through various romantic tropes until they realize that they are like the right ones for each other. This is also very similar. I love the idea of like multiple romantic tropes, like throwing our main characters together until they realize they're in love. I very happily say that I have a feeling these characters are going to fall in love because again, it's a romance series, but you know, whatever. Here is the beautiful interior cover and the back end. And of course, I do believe this has been signed by the author herself. So excited to get into this book, especially during this winter season. I just think it's going to be such a fun, cozy read, and I'm really excited for the collection of Christmas books I have lined up. And I'm already ready for winter. And for those that can't tell, summer is not my season. Very much excited for winter. I need it to arrive. Okay, cool. The next two books I'm not going to go into too much depth with, only because I have actually reviewed one of the books on my channel, and the other one I will get into further depth with when I read it in the October season. But it is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu, Mandanna, and A Witch's Guide to Magical Inkeeping, which is taking place in the same world. This is basically a cozy fantasy romance where we're basically following the story of a young woman who is a witch that ends up having to essentially be a teacher to a bunch of young children that are witches and don't realize they are, and they need some kind of guidance. And they have a grumpy man who is their caretaker. And of course, the two characters go through their own journey. And that is the vibes of The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. It was very well written. I love the main two characters in this book. I just think they're so sweet. They're so cute. On the back cover, it says, "It's not always enough to go looking for the place we belong. Sometimes we need to make that place." And I love that. This is, again, an Illumicrate copy of this book. And I just thought this cover was gorgeous. In fact, I don't even see myself keeping these covers for this book. It's just so pretty. But here is the front cover of The Secret Society of Irregular Witches. It is gorgeous, guys. I mean, it's just so freaking pretty. And I'm obsessed. I don't even know how else to describe it. I'm just obsessed. I love that it looks like a little potion book. I think that's just so cute. And here we have Sangu and the three kids, or not Sangu and the three kids. We have our main character and the three kids, and then the male character. And then here is the back page where they're sharing their magic. It's just incredible. And then here is the painted edges. I love the little mushrooms. I just think they're so adorable. This is probably one of those books where I definitely see myself rereading, reading again, and rereading yet again, because it's just so sweet. Here is the lovely signature by the author. And I'm just so thankful to have this book in my collection. It's just so beautiful. It's unbeatably beautiful. And I'm obsessed. There's nothing else I can say about it. It was a solid read when I read it. It was a solid 4-star read. It was just so cute, so sweet, and perfectly October without being spooky and creepy, but still having that sense of magic. So if you ever need a break from the spooky and creepy, great read. Then I also ended up getting The Witch's Guide to Magical Inkeeping. Now this one I'll actually read the inside cover for, because I myself don't know what the full story is about. It says, "What if love is the best magic of all? Of all. Once Sarah Swan was one of the most powerful witches in Britain. Then she resurrected her great aunt Jasmine from the very recently dead, lost most of her powers, befriended a semi-villainous talking fox, and was exiled from her guild. Now she helps Jasmine run an enchanted inn in Lancashire, where she deals with their quirky guest shenanigans and longs for a future that seems lost, until she finds out about an old spell that could restore her power. Enter Luke Larson, handsome magical historian who might have the key to unlocking the spell's secrets. Luke has no interest in the inn's madcap going-ons and is even less interested in letting a certain bewitching innkeeper past his walls. So no one is more surprised than he when he agrees to help. Running an inn, reclaiming lost power, and staying one step ahead of the watchful guild is a lot for anyone. But Sarah is about to discover she doesn't have to do it alone, and that love might be the best magic of all." Doesn't that sound so sweet? Spend a bit more time with today's and a bit less time with yesterday's and tomorrow's, is what the back of the book says on the cover. Let's take a peek at the beautiful book. I mean, these covers are just to die for. I am obsessed with these covers, guys. Obsessed with these covers. They are so pretty, like so freaking pretty. And then as far as the inner covers go, like, oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. I wish I could see the fox. The fox is not depicted in these pictures, but that's okay. And then here is the beautiful, beautiful painted edges. I love the little tulip. It's just so pretty. But I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with these books. I'm so excited to have them. I had to have them when I saw them on the Illumicrate website. They were just too cute to pass up, and I am obsessed. I will also say the Illumicrate versions of these books are also stunning for anyone who's interested in something different. Definitely go check them out if you're interested in these books, but gorgeous. The final book in the Illumicrate haul is Love at First Fright by Nadia El-Fassi. This is the second book in the series. It kind of seems like cozy, mystery, supernatural kind of vibes, but perfect for the October season as well. Here is the lovely front cover and the back cover of the printed version of the cover on the book. When you open it up, it actually looks more like a grimoire, which I think is just so cool. So here is the grimoire-esque cover to the book, and then here is the lovely back. It says, and here's the sides. I love this little bit on the side of the book as well. It says on the back, salt, lavender, rosemary, sage all have the ability to either soothe or ward off ghosts, which I just think is so fun. Here is the interior, amazeballs. The cats alone, amazeballs. And then here is the back with the dogs. Gotta love those pets, man. Gotta love the pets. And then here is, of course, the lovely signature from the author, which is always a special bonus. Let's read the inside cover together. Rosemary is a successful horror author with a secret. She can see ghosts. So why is this being difficult? Okay. So when the set of her novel's film adaptation turns out to be a haunted countryside manor, she's unfazed. What she's less prepared for is the maddeningly handsome, completely miscast actor playing her lead man. Ellis is a Hollywood heartthrob, tired of his action hero persona. Instead, he dreams of being a serious actor and having free time to spend gardening with his dog. Landing the lead in a historical horror movie is his chance to start fresh, until he discovers the author tried to have him replaced. But as filming progresses and the manor's ghosts make their presence known, the chemistry between Rosemary and Ellis becomes undeniable. With secrets being spilled, sparks flying, and spirits stirring up trouble, can they face their demons and write themselves happily ever after before it's a wrap? So this is the second book in this series. I'm very excited to have my hands on this one. I can't wait to read it. The first one was called Best Hex Ever, which I do also have on my shelf, and I definitely see both of these showing an appearance this October spooky season. This last book that I have in my collection of books to show you guys is actually one that I special ordered for myself. So I'm not sure if people are familiar with the indie author Kari Lake. She wrote Nocticadia. She also wrote Anathema. And I happened to get my hand on a beautifully specially bound copy of Anathema on Etsy. And when I realized that the second book, Eldritch, had released in the trilogy, the third book has still not released yet. I'll be waiting for that third book before I, venture into the series. I have heard amazing things about the series. It's been raved about by my best friend. I've literally seen it get like 4 to 5 stars on Goodreads reviews. So when I saw the second book had been released, I reached out to this wonderful Etsy seller who does custom bindings and creates designs, and she was open to doing one for Eldritch for me. And so I have a lovely copy of Eldritch here to share with you guys. Before I show you this, let me actually show you what the Anathema copy looked like. So this is the edition of Anathema that I ended up getting from this wonderful author. I have shown this in a previous video before, but I absolutely love the birds and the figure of the woods, because these two characters are traipsing through the woods until they meet each other. And the first half of the book, they are separated until they understand what's happening. And it says, only the banished know what lies beyond the woods. It's just so absolutely stunning and beautiful. So I had to ask the same author to create the second book for me, and she did not disappoint. Guys, take a peek at this beautiful copy of Eldritch by Kari Lake, created by this wonderful Etsy shop. I will definitely link the custom binding website on the description box below. So if you are interested in getting any of your favorite books custom bound, you can reach out to her. I believe she usually charges around $50 to $60 depending on the book. Here is, it's just gorgeous. And it says here, we are written in blood, born for each other, and not even the gods can tear us apart. So Anathema, of course, had the raven. We continue with the beautiful ravens on this book as well. And it's just beautiful, beautiful painted edges and binding. I am so thankful to the Etsy seller for creating this for me, and I'm so excited to have added this lovely copy of Eldritch to my collection, and I can't wait to see what she will do with the third book, which will hopefully be releasing soon. And that does finally bring me to the end of this video. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching my lovely bookish themed birthday haul. I tend to go all out for my birthday. It's a very special deal to me. I don't know why. I realized I didn't do anything exciting in order to be born. I mean, if anything, my parents deserve the credit, but there's just something so special about celebrating milestones and all the things you've accomplished in a year. It's a very romanticized moment for me. So if there's 4 dates that I'm obsessed with, it's Valentine's Day, birthday for myself, my husband, as well as anniversary dates. And my husband is aware of this. And so he kind of let me have free reign for my birthday this year. So I'm very excited to have all of these amazing books and bookish themed goodies to share with you guys. In the next video, I'll definitely share the non-bookish related goodies that I ended up purchasing for myself, the birthday outfits, like all of that kind of stuff, and the gifts that I received from so many loved ones. I feel so blessed and absolutely amazing to have those opportunities and to share those experiences with so many loved ones. But I specifically wanted to do this video because it's a book channel, and I just thought it would be fun to share the bookish related little fun things that I ended up getting for myself this year. If you are new here, again, welcome to the channel. It's primarily a bookish channel, although there is little smatterings of randomness usually associated with travel and things like that on this channel as well. But if you love to read, you're definitely in the right place, and we talk all things books on the channel, so I would love to see you back. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss out on new content and you're always caught up with the community. Also, please leave comments below if you've read these books, if you have any of these books on your TBR, if you have any of these books on your wish list, definitely let me know. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. The community has grown so much from when I first started this channel, and it just means the whole world to me. I'm really hopeful that it continues to grow and that we continue to create these experiences together. And that wouldn't be possible without every single one of you OG subscribers, whether you signed on as number 1 or 160, like we are the OGs. And so it just means the world to me to have each and every one of you here celebrating these milestones and talking all things books with me. Definitely leave me comments below on which book you like the best. If there's any books you think I need to get my hands on based on the collection that I shared today. And I will catch you guys on the flip side in the next video. I do want to leave everybody with this. Wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, evening, or night, I hope you guys are feeling safe, loved, and secure, that you're getting plenty of time with family, friends, and plenty of time for self-care and reading. I will catch you guys with the next video. Bye, guys.